Hey, it's me coming at you with another 5-minute car review of movies I saw that I really want to talk to you about. And so I just talked to you about Minecraft, which I saw this weekend, but I also saw Snow White this weekend. And I know there's like controversy and conflict and critics saying this and then the audience saying this. And I got to tell you, from my perspective as somebody who adores movies, loves movies, would live my life for movies, I was thoroughly entertained in this movie from opening credits to closing credits. I find nothing about this movie where I wasn't like, oh, I wish I could leave this movie, or man, why did they go and remake this property? They did a great job. They took obviously a legendary property, a beautiful property, and they handled it with such affection, with such love. I think the director's Mark Webb, and the sequencing, the way that they took the animation locations and put them into real life so you could see them in full live color. So the dwarf's cottage, the kind of the ominousness of the castle, the woods. I think in the woods even they incorporated possibly an Easter egg to Flowers and Trees, the original Disney short, with kind of the creepy gropey tree that is not an appropriate tree to be in the forest with, the lady flowers and trees. I think that's in there. The woods, the setting, the suns, the darkness, everything. The cinematography is beautiful. The direction is great. The way that the camera pans around dancing villagers and captures the emotion of the joy from the beginning to kind of the darkness of the middle, when the people who were formerly happy were now run by authoritarianism and have forgotten what it means to work together, to work with their hands, to commit themselves to each other. The direction captures all that. And I love the music, and I found myself toe tapping to the music and maybe dancing a little bit to the music in my chair at Flick's Brewhouse, which my kids probably were more than a little embarrassed of, but I don't care. It's a musical, and it reminds me of the Disney Renaissance musicals, when like in Beauty and the Beast and the villagers break into the opening number, or just any musical. And this got a lot of musical people in it, right? Obviously Rachel Zegler, who is super talented. That Rachel Zegler, she is super talented, carries a great tune, conveys a lot of great emotion. Wow. Gal, I know people are giving her a lot of heat for this role too, but she's a villain. She's a cartoon villain, and she does a delicious job as a cartoon villain, and cartoon villain monologuing and songs, and I was entertained. Jonathan, the character Jonathan, formerly the prince from the original story, reminds me a lot of Flynn Rider's character in Tangled, which a lot of this movie too kind of combines for me a lot of Snow White and Tangled, and kind of brings them together with the messaging and the storyline and the sequencing of forming an army, a Robin Hood kind of merry men band, and I would say that about the film. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they took everything and they changed everything. I'll tell you, the story's pretty much the same. There's some tweaks here and there, but it's the great same story that you all remember, with some additional kind of oomph to it. I would say that it did something that I guess I didn't realize the cartoon didn't do. The cartoon kind of ends abruptly, right? And that's probably because it was the 1930s and money was short, and they were building the first full-length feature animated film, and so we have to end this somehow. So the dwarves chase the evil queen up the mountain, and then she falls to her death. This kind of does the same thing, but then plays into a more hopeful vision of the future and a bigger sequencing of the end that gives it, I would say, almost a better ending than the original cartoon that it had. A more hopeful outlook. And that's, again, I guess what I really liked about this film too, and Minecraft, was I'm really at this point looking for escapist reality, I suppose. Something that brings people together and can be like a community event. I think far too often now we have sides and bubbles and whatever else, and obviously this movie is infused with that from behind the scenes. But everybody in the movie theater was a full movie theater. They all came out smiling. They all came out laughing. They all came out quoting things. They all came out talking about what a good time they had. And I guess I'm just looking for that right now. I'm looking for artistic events, community events that kind of bond us together in a common dialogue and everything that's dividing us. And I guess, like I said, in 1930s, Snow White probably did the exact same thing. In the midst of the Great Depression, people were looking for something just to feel good for 2 hours. And I felt good for 2 hours. I really liked this movie. The music is beautiful, the direction is beautiful, the acting is great. I love the CGI dwarves. I love each individual personality of the CGI dwarves, their relationship between each other, their relationship between Snow White, Snow White's relationship between Jonathan, and, I'm not going to pretend I didn't get moved by the love song that's between them. Dang. Powerful movie. It's fun. And again, it's a musical. It's like, like I said, La La Land. It's like Greatest Showman, when we just put ourselves into understanding that this is a musical and it's meant to lift us up, and it gives us some positivity. It gives us hope in the midst of a ton of, dramatic dystopian movies. Here we have some hope. So again, I recommend it. Take your kids, take your family. It's a great family vehicle. It's just fun. I would rather see 1,000 movies like this every day than go see another Brutalist. So, Snow White, go